My first topic that I picked out is something that we are all dealing with, is stage fright, and how you are dealing with that, because it's a very individual problem. Some people we just stick to violin, of course. Some people have like a shaking bow, others have like such a high blood pressure that it's almost impossible to focus. The other one has sweaty hands. The next person maybe even wants to throw up before a performance, whatever it might be, if it's like in a very small occasion or the biggest concert of your life. So I want to share a few things that helped me, whether it might be as a soloist, as a chamber musician, also orchestra musicians. I know that for some people it is also an issue in the orchestra. You cannot hide in every piece that you're playing. Let's start with the preparation, let's say a day before, because I sense that people have the tendency to do whatever the day before the performance. It is very crucial that you understand that you have to be good to yourself, to your soul and to your body, which means basic things like you have to eat well, you have to sleep well, some physical exercise, not too much, but also not too little, so that you are in general in a good state of mind, right? Because you need to be emotionally fresh, which is always tricky to do, because you know, the moment you are on stage, the adrenaline goes up, and it might be the problem that you're not able to deliver all the emotions that you actually want to show. So keep in mind, the basics are very important. When it comes to the day of performance, and you might wake up in the morning and you're already worried about the later evening, breathing exercises always do help. This is also not just for music making or any artistic profession. It's also for everyone else who is, I don't know, presenting something in front of colleagues or has an application going on. Breathing in and out, like for at least 10 minutes straight, focusing on your breath will always help you. It's not a big secret that I'm telling you, but it's so simple that everyone can do it all the time. When it comes to, let's say, 1-2 hours before the performance, you want to warm up, and you feel that you are already a bit stiff here and there because, you know, you get anxiety in your body and you feel your muscles being inflexible, go for exercises that help you to relax. Also, having a good posture. Yeah? Also, even while warming up is important, that you feel a connection to the ground somehow. You're not standing while playing like this or like this or somehow like this. You always keep a straight line and your feet are really touching and feeling the ground. Will always help you to be more connected to yourself. Then exercises can be always basic and very slow. You know, taking a small vibrato only, not a high intensity emotional vibrato. Then also exercises for the right hand that keep your wrists and your bones as smooth as possible. Repeating notes at the frog, for example, for a long time. For example, can help you to ease up your right wrist. The next thing is, so we're talking, let's say, about 30-20 minutes up to your performance. Keep focusing on the music and not how you might come across these thoughts like, oh my God, will the audience feel how nervous I am? Will my teachers be happy with what I achieved? Do they maybe question all my abilities? It's just solely about you and the music. As soon as you are connected to the music itself, you will already feel way better because you're just not so much in your head. You're more connected with your inner world, emotions, peace, whatever you want to call it. Everyone has a personal story to that. Some people even to say they feel connected to God. Also, if you feel that you are too much in your head, it helps to close your eyes and listen very carefully to every second that you are playing. Also while warming up, I'm talking about the last 20 to 10 minutes before the performance. That you don't get confused or irritated with your environment around you. It's solely you, the music, and the violin. This connection needs to be trained as well, in the sense of you're playing in front of colleagues before the actual concert, in front of friends, family. You just try to calm down as much as possible and feel the connection between the strings, your fingers, the bow, and everything becomes one unit, which it actually always is. You know, you are already able to play the concert. So it would be good if you are able to trust yourself. That's another big topic, of course. Trusting yourself is also an issue for everyone. But even the idea of like, hey, I actually do know what I'm doing. I do know the piece. I do know what I want to express, is already giving you a completely different approach to the whole evening. As soon as you enter the stage, as I said, no matter if you're a soloist, chamber musician, or an orchestra musician, in that moment, just right before you play, take your time, never rush. It does not matter if you are starting 5 or 10 seconds later, right? If the audience feels that you are actually hurrying and you're picking up the violin quickly and start right away, you will feel even more hectic. So you come on stage, the applause is ending, and then you take a deep breath and you just try to focus on your world as much as possible. Say your world with the pianist or orchestra. And then you start being by yourself, not think of how do I come across to the world, because this like, I'm so great, you know, and then I'm just, this is not needed here. We want to hear a very good and emotionally felt performance. Take your time, take up the violin, place your hand calmly where it needs to be for the very first start, and then you let it go as much as you can. If something happens during the performance which increases your anxiety, it might be very helpful to think, okay, if something happens, I'm getting even more calm. I found this very helpful here and there. Even also if you train that sort of thinking, it's a completely different world. Because we have the tendency to like, oh gosh, there was an accident happening and now I'm getting even more stiff and even more nervous and I'm not breathing properly. My breath is only here instead of the whole stomach area. You will be able to turn around this thought of mistake, because we all do mistakes, and even when you're the best prepared ever, always anything can happen, which is very human. And especially young people think that mistakes should never ever happen because otherwise I'm going to be tortured by my teacher or by the audience. This is really not the case. It is always the case if the music is coming across and is touching you or not. All that what I just said is like a very rough idea of what is possible, but it can bring you away from this thinking of, I cannot do mistakes, I must not look bad, I'm not good enough, and all that, right? You chose music making because you love it, so also you have to show it. It sounds so easy, it is not, I do know. As I said, I also have my moments where I struggle with that, but to keep related to these easy, basic things will always improve your playing. Then you will also have an enjoyable evening by yourself, not just for the audience, also for you, because feeling connected to yourself is like a really nice thing to have. I hope these few impressions can inspire you, and even if you play in front of your class the next time in a very small, with a very small audience, it can hopefully improve already a bit your anxiety and your stress level.